everyone, welcome to the next episode of Pokémon Movie Club. My name is Birdkeeper Toby, and this is not my podcast. Instead, it is that of the lovely Virtually Marty and Cerebry Joe, who joined me up above. And you're watching this live on Twitch, Virtually Marty. And if you're not watching it there, then you're watching it on demand on YouTube. Definitely lost my way there a little bit. Hello everyone, today's episode is all about Volcanion and the magical mystery
mechanical
marvel. I tell you what, you know what, I'll let the pros do it. You guys go. What have we got?
Thanks, Toby. Cough in there just as we start. So unprofessional.
I can't help it. I'm severely asthmatic.
So unprofessional. Hi everyone. Thank you, Toby. I thought Toby can do the intro because I'm pretty sure you've never done the intro, and we're almost at the end of these.
I think he has.
Has
On
he?
one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I have a really bad memory.
It was very forgettable. That's why you never let me do it again. But alas, here we are.
Yes, as Toby failed miserably at the title, today we are discussing Pokemon movie Volcanion and the Mechanical Marvel, which is the final XY film.
Yes, hence why there's a Gen 7 Pokemon in it.
Movie number 19. And, well, I remember. These are the ways that you can watch it. You can get it on DVD Blu-ray via Manga UK or Viz. Sometimes they're on Netflix. You can read them as well. Amazon Kindle, Comixology, physical and digital manga, movie manga on iTunes, Google Play, Pokemon Prime Video, and at the moment, as we are recording this, it is actually available for free on Pokemon TV. Like, in the future, it might not be when you're watching this, but right now it is. So if you've not seen the film and you don't want spoilers, go watch it and come back and watch this later, because I don't like spoiling things for people, but, you know, balls in your court with that one. So, yes, this is what it looks like as a 3-pack DVD, and that's the Blu-ray equivalent. And on the layout, you got the, yeah, it's the same, I think, what the manga cover looks like as well. I really want to get more of the movie manga, because
That's
just another way. You want to show the art on the back of the box? So that is kind of cool.
In fact, I think I've got a wallpaper of it somewhere.
Have you? I've never seen that art before. But yeah, that is pretty cool. Joe, you want... Oh, no, you got... Do you read that first then? Tell us the day it came out. Okay, well then, I can't remember. Go on then, Joe.
Gosh. Ash meets the mythical Pokemon Volcanion, or is it Volcanion? I actually can't remember. We watched it this morning.
Volcanion.
I thought it was Volcanion.
Tomato.
Ash meets the mythical Pokemon Volcanion when it crashes down from the sky, creating a cloud of dust, and a mysterious force binds them together. Well, binds the two of them together, sorry. I ad-libbed. Volcanion despises humans and tries to get away, but it's forced to drag Ash along as it continues its rescue mission. They arrive in a city of cogs and gears where a corrupt minister has stolen the ultimate invention, the artificial Pokemon Magearna, created 500 years ago. He plans to use its mysterious power to take control of the mechanical kingdom. Can Ash and Volcanion work together to rescue Magearna? One of the greatest battles in Pokemon history is about to unfold. Is it though? I mean, to be fair, it was a big battle. There was like 17 Mega Revolutions battling at once. Later in
I thought it was I thought it was really good. I thought it was, you know how I was complaining about the Hooper movie being a kaiju movie and that I didn't like the way all the big stuff was fighting? I think this film did it, but like similar, but better, but in its big battle. We'll get to that.
Did the film come out in July by any chance?
It did, because every Pokemon movie until this year came out in July. It came out on July 16th, 2016, I believe, in Japan. Wait. Yes, it did. And it introduced the Pokemon Magearna to the fold. Magearna was revealed before Pokemon Sun and Moon were revealed, which was, you know, interesting. And
Was it revealed in Koro Koro?
it was.
Well,
And
It's a
this is
shame
also of
rather.
note because it's the first time that a Pokemon form has been shown and had a long time between reveal and release in a main series game.
yeah, like, how did you get it in Sun and Moon?
Magina, you could
Oh,
get
it's the
through a
QR
QR
code,
code, which they
yeah.
released on Pokemon.com and various other things, and Japan got it on top of a Pokemon Ga-Ole disc. Or was it Treasure
Yeah.
No, it was Ga-Ole. But I was talking about the original colour Magina, which was introduced alongside this movie, but
It
we
was.
didn't get until almost 4 years later, which is the longest period between reveal and actual release of a form or Pokemon.
Yeah,
That's so.
and we just got it, didn't we?
We did.
4 years later. Oh, the original form.
Yeah.
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 So, yeah.
Interesting. Cool.
Mm.
And it took place, when the movie aired, the Kalos League was in full flow. So it didn't take place during the Kalos League. They placed it before the Kalos League.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where we're.
It's literally right before the Kalos League. There was an episode before the Kalos League started where they visited a town of, various mechanical delights. It wasn't this one, but it was a very, very soft tie-in. But there are no tie-ins like there were for the Diancie and Hooper movie. No spin-off game, no... I don't know what else I was going to say there.
And how did we get Volcanion in the end? That was just the.
Volcanion
mythical-
was distributed in Japan in the April of 2016 as a pre-booking ticket, and then we got it in various stores such as Game and GameStop.
I thought the Really? That's how we got it?
Yes.
I thought it was just part of the
No.
mythical distribution for the year. I forget these things. There's been so many distributions.
Yes.
It's a really interesting
So I
one,
should
this
have
film.
many Volcanion then.
It's really interesting, this film, because you're talking about it like not really having much of a game tie-in or having much of an anime tie-in, and it really feels like, obviously this is a weird time in Pokemon's history where X and Y had come out. There's this, will there be Z, won't there be Z, what's that about? And then they go to Sun and Moon.
Did we
and a
know
lot
about
of those...
Oras?
It was also the... Did we know about Oras? Oras had been out for
Yes.
almost 2 years.
Oras have been out, yeah. Sun and
Oh,
Moon.
But
yeah.
this was the first
That's
animated
what I meant.
appearance
Sun-
of Complete Form Zygarde as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
It definitely felt like a lot of those elements that would have maybe been Pokemon Z elements were kind of present here, that, kind of ended up being a kind of back-end part of Sun and Moon, like the Zygarde Perfect Form thing being like a kind of side quest with the Magina being the QR code. That stuff kind of got like... But that in Sun and Moon, but in Sun and Moon, we didn't quite get it into X and Y. Very interesting, because I think usually the movies tend to very heavily tie in with what's going on in the games, and it's like, like Zoroark movie, it's like Gen 5's coming out, but also Hot Gold.
I mean,
Soul Silver
Zygarde
stuff
did
happening.
have
Yeah, a
quite
lot.
a big deal in the anime at
Yes,
the end.
yes.
Yeah.
After the Kalos League, there was the 5-episode arc, which is pretty much better than any Pokemon X
Really
and Y
cool.
movie.
Really
So it
cool.
did get its time to shine
Yes.
in the anime, away from the movie.
That was a good time. That was a good saga.
You raved a lot about that. I just realised we should have got the Zygarde plush out for this, because we've got Squishy and Zydog in the
Such a pain
cupboard.
to get out.
Alright, actually on to the movie. So,
You don't need to read all of your notes.
Yeah.
It'll take about a year.
I know. I made a lot of notes for this one. There was no Pikachu short.
No.
So the film did run what felt like a little longer. I'm not sure if it actually did. It
90
starts
minutes.
off. Really? That was 90 minutes? That felt a lot longer. You know how Pokemon movies, they kind of jazz up the theme a little bit for the intro. I felt like the theme was really weird with this one. Not my favourite movie adaptation of the film. Straight in with the world of Pokemon. It wasn't a bad one. It looked
It focused a
quite
lot on
nice.
Mega Evolution.
And it focused a lot on Mega Evolution.
To the point that you actually saw Alan and Karina's gym battle, which would later be used for Alan getting into the Kalos League.
And we had the character Alan, which was part of the Mega Evolution. Special things, I've made a note here. It's not a bad world of Pokemon because it features Snubble and Marill, and they are two of my favourite Pokemon. But yes, we see Alan, and like the whole world of Pokemon was like extended because there was a whole Mega Evolution thing tied on to the end. I thought it's definitely one of the better world of Pokemon. And then starting straight off with a 3D flying ship thing.
I just double checked, and the end of a battle between Alan and Karina did appear in an episode, which was like the episode before the Kalos League. So that places it.
There you go then. That places it.
Yeah.
As we have come to expect with Pokemon movies, they set the scene and straight away they're usually showing the environment or something 3D to be like, look, we could do 3D animation in with the 2D as well. And I feel like there was a lot of it in this film, and it's perfect now. It was a bit ropey 20 years ago, but now it's so seamless and lovely, and I'm glad they do put the 3D elements in the Pokemon movies with that little bit extra budget. There are children screaming outside. Do you want to shut the window?
Not really, it's hot.
So apologies if you can hear the children next door. So I think the environments look lovely animation, everything pops. Obviously we are now 20, what year was this?
16.
It should be fine at this point. Everything looks lovely. So there's a 3D ship, and then you don't expect Volcanion to be that far up in the air, which kind of threw me a bit.
I mean, it uses its steam like those water jetpacks.
But, you know, Volcanion would be quite a heavy Pokemon to get that far up in the air.
It's got a lot of water to expel.
It just seemed a bit weird having Volcanion up in the air like that. Sure, I get, like, you know, steam down to push it up, but I don't know. So there was a little bit of a scuffle there with Volcanion in the air, and then you get the standard opening with a battle. I feel like this is something we've seen many Pokemon films. Ash.
It was very well animated.
Very well animated. Ash is battling, and then
Well, you're really going to go through all of this, aren't you?
Volcanion falls from the sky and attaches to Ash by these metal
things which the
rings,
enemies used.
Which were the enemies we used to get.
They were trying to get both of its legs together so it couldn't move.
And they failed. And it got Ash instead. So Ash and Volcanion, like that, and they couldn't get the ring off, which is something that bothers me as we continue through the film.
They did play on that joke a lot.
They did.
Yeah.
That is one of my problems with this movie. It repeated itself a lot of the time.
Unnecessarily.
And you had that joke. It's like, oh yeah, that's quite funny. Oh, it stopped being funny 20 times ago.
We know they're attached, and Volcanion doesn't like it.
And then they go on about how, I mean, jumping ahead, how the Pokemon in an area don't trust humans, and they say that about 5 times. It just felt a bit padding-y.
Mm-hmm. It does get a bit like that. So then, my notes are such a mess. I do apologise. I am going to be missing some things out. So there are shiny Pokemon in this film. The Pokemon, what did they call them? The bad guys.
Alva,
but what was?
Oh, with the Mega Wave.
No, what were the people called? Not rangers, poachers.
I mean, those weren't the poachers.
The bad guys. There was bad guys.
Yeah, but the poacher was someone else.
I thought they were part of his crew, though.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, there was a shiny Gengar, which Joe pointed out, because you know what shiny Gengar's like. You wouldn't know,
You could actually notice it.
You could actually know. It was a very different colour purple, but Joe still pointed it out. Thank you, Joe.
I mean, you would have noticed when it Mega Evolved.
True. Which it does eventually. We do like a white Mega Gengar. Volcanion lands in this city where Team Rocket just so happens to be eating lunch, and then it flashes over. By the way, the pacing of this film, there just seemed to be a lot going on at the same time, and then you flash sideways and you see Magiana hatching for the prince at this castle. What's the land called again?
The Azov Kingdom.
Azov.
It's one of the reasons
Azov.
why Lockstin was pushing the alchemy thing, if memory serves, because that was
Azov
referenced.
is a big... Azov, like, the whole thing to do here with Azov and alchemy and symbolism in Pokemon for that was never more prevalent than in Generation... than Generation 7?
The end of Generation 6, leading into Gen 7.
Yeah, end of Gen 6, sorry, yeah. Like, the whole thing, there's just so much symbolism there, and Azov is a very key part of that. And yeah, the Azov Kingdom is actually referenced in the games. The
Project Azov is on
Project
Seymour,
Azov.
though, isn't it?
Really?
Yeah, Project Azov is referenced. You can find notes of it in the labs of Team Aqua Magma in Orast. You can find, I think, New Sea Marvel Project was like Project Azov or something like that. AZ means symbolically Azov because it's the same. It comes from the same kind of symbolism.
I did not know this. That's so
yeah,
cool.
and
There's actually a link with the games.
Yeah, and there's like loads there. And actually also in was it Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire or X and Y? I think there is a character that talks about Volcanion, and they talk about the adventurers that went to hunt down Volcanion, and there's like a very strong theory that it's to do with Pyramid King Brandon from the obviously from Emerald version. So there is lots of seeds for this stuff in the game
That's
that never
really
got
cool.
the payoff that they were maybe intending, and it feels like
I mean, there was a lot more anime references because, like, in Moss Deep Space Center, at one point you had Steven mention Alan and his Charizard. So
there's a very defining bit of evidence that for a lot of Pokemon theories at the time.
That's
to do with that.
really cool.
Yeah.
I like how there was actually a link. I didn't know that. And if you haven't seen the film, this city is all steampunk. Everyone dresses quite old-timey. Like, you're seeing some of the screenshots. Everything's cogs and gears and...
it's almost as if there's a Pokemon called Magina.
Yeah. So, and then even Ash gets a new outfit, as you've seen that picture right there. And this is... oh, we'll get on to that.
How did he get changed?
Thank you. Let's just tackle this now. Several times throughout the film, Ash is given new clothes or something else to wear. When the whole joke is he can't get that metal thing off his stomach. How does he change his clothes?
It might not be skin tight.
Then he should be wiggling out of it. Like, that really...
It could not be skin tight and have him not wiggle out. You could have both of those things be true.
Like, why is it so... why can he change his clothes, but he has to have the metal thing on? Like, you wouldn't...
I think it's not weird. It's not weird that he...
No, it can't be skin tight because Clemon gives him a bigger suit to wear to absorb Volcanion's attack so he doesn't get hurt, and it's bigger, like it's bulkier, and it absorbs water at one point. So there you go, it's in the picture now.
But then,
that is a
when
big
that suit explodes,
armor.
the ring is
still on him.
You guys are missing the point entirely here. The weird thing isn't that he can change, it's that he does change and must do in front of Volcanion. And I don't know why we didn't get the scenes where Ash is like, turn around, Volcanion, and Volcanion's, I'm a Volcanion.
I hate humans.
Those
we
scenes.
learned from the beginning that Volcanion really hates humans.
And he says that 52 times in the movie.
And so he's really not best pleased being literally tied to Ash. And so the whole metal ring thing gets really annoying, and the whole changing clothes thing
Mm-hmm.
doesn't work for me. Maybe I would have looked over it if I was a kid watching this, but as someone who thinks about what they're seeing, I couldn't overlook that, unfortunately. So, the Morgana hatches, and there's some kind of link there with royalty, and it just so happens Volcanion lands there at the same time just after Morgana hatches. Volcanion was looking for Morgana to take it away. And oh man, I have so many notes here.
I have a person who created Morgana. It's called Nicola. Did all the inventions.
Do you know who Nicola is? Toby?
It's not actually him.
I know.
Nikola Tesla, clearly.
Yay!
It's a reference. It's not
It's a
actually
I
Nikola
know, but
Tesla.
they've done this before, haven't they?
No, they didn't. A certain site just said, "Oh yeah, that character's named after a folk singer."
No, I swear there was another film.
Newton in the Giratina movie is not named after Newton Faulkner.
No,
Whoa,
I swear
your
you
audio
said
just went wild.
because Joe tapped on the
Sorry.
table and
Yeah, I
not
went
the
wild.
mic. I swear
Jack.
we spoke and
He was
like
called Newton
in another
after Isaac
film.
Newton because of gravity, because the gravity was
Yeah.
distorted.
Isn't that we've spoken about that before? That Newton was called Newton after.
Isaac
Rip
Newton.
Hudson.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a thing that they've done before. They've tried to make it educational.
They should have had Alva be called Thomas after Edison.
Yeah. And because that what prompted me to say, oh, is he named after someone from, history then? But he's not. So I've just got written down: Princess gets on flying steampunk bike.
Which turns
Which
into
was-
a jetpack.
Really random.
As you do.
There's a lot of weird vehicle situations going on in this film.
I mean, if you saw some of the contraptions
I'm going to
Leonardo
assume
da
most of
Vinci
you have seen
created.
this film, so I'm not going to go over everything. We find out Morgana was lost in the war, or some kind of situation happened where Morgana went missing. We find out it's because Morgana has this really strong power, the soul heart, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Which was highly sought after. So Morgana went to this plateau, a field of flowers for hiding, and that's how Morgana met Volcanion. This is my next problem. Doesn't seem to be the environment a Volcanion would live in.
Why?
I don't know. I just kind of expected it to live near a volcano or
Or
something.
a hydraulic
Or
dam?
just not a field of flowers.
What
This
the
is-
hell would it be if you're
You just, in my head, Volcanion wouldn't be in that environment. It
Alright.
would be near like mountains and hot springs and stuff.
It destroys mountains. Its Pokédex entries, I think, talk about
And
that.
they reference it being in the mountains in X and Y
and
when
it does
you talk
actually
to
say
Alexa.
it can level a mountain. Volcanion says it can level a mountain in the film. That is something it actually says. I don't know. I know I've expressed concern with films in the past of how the legendary / mythical Pokemon know each other, and sometimes it feels very forced.
Yeah.
How do we feel about this relationship?
It's actually, I think it's okay, because
It's one of the better ones. It didn't feel
Volcanion...
too forced.
I just wish they had elaborated on more, because Volcanion is a Pokemon known to have a supernatural organ. And there is something kind of mechanical, kind of power-related about it. And I think there's definitely a tie-in there with Morgana, which is definitely artificial. That maybe could have been expanded on a little bit more. Maybe they would have dug into that, and we could have learned what does this supernatural organ thing, what's that about? What does that mean? Was this Pokemon like augmented in some way, or what's going on there? I think that would have been cool.
So Joe, you're not too bothered about their relationship because Mageina and
Volcarona?
it's too hot, guys. In the UK, as we're recording, it's really hot.
It
for
is
work.
boiling.
So
Why would
sorry
they
if you
have
can hear
a
the
problem
fan.
with the relationship?
Well,
Love is love.
They are really close. They are very close. Like there's a very strong bond.
This is a love story.
Kind of is.
But it's also a damsel in distress story where Volcanion has to go save a princess who has been kidnapped.
I've been very conscious not to gender Mageina. I'm guessing Mageina is a Pokemon with no gender.
I mean, yeah, but so's Zacian, and Zacian is referred to as Zamazenta's sister.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's interesting.
But Mageina is labelled as a princess in many things, if
Okay.
memory serves, and I'm just going to
and
check.
we do find out Mageina has this strong history with the royal family. Like Mageina's very, very old Pokemon, and it has royal links, and it was we see in flashbacks a history, and it was bonded with the princess of the time, and then the destruction, the arcane power caused, so Mageina had to hide away.
Well, somewhere it was mentioned as a princess.
So Mageina feels bond because of the old princess with the new princess in the film when they introduce each other. They follow Volcanion in a ship, which is stupid. That's my notes. There's a part where Volcanion's just walking along and everyone else is just slowly like driving along in the ship next to it, and it just looked a bit silly. I don't know, just me, but it just, they weren't walking by the side, they were just in the ship. Just seemed a bit silly to me. So they get to this Nabal Plateau, the field of flowers, and a nice big tree with a round branches. And I've got Ash explodes, but the ring is still there. They didn't think the ring thing through. It just didn't seem right. But finally they managed to get Clement, with help of a Gulpin, manages to get the ring off.
That is so disturbing. Having
Yeah.
that like buzzsaw just going towards Ash's chest. If that was me, I'd be terrified.
There was a massive saw going towards Ash's chest, like to get the ring off, and it was like
one false move and
that was quite
I'd be
scary.
so
And we
nervous.
find out that all the Pokemon in this field are abandoned by their trainers or left in some ways,
And
they
they really
don't
hammer
like
that in.
humans. And I felt like this went on for a little bit too long, and this is where the movie got a little bit slow for me. And I'm like, I'm getting a bit bored. Can something just happen
And then it
now? And then it did. There was a big, lots of smoke appear. I have a lot of
Yeah.
notes. I've never made so many notes. Smoke appear, and then the bad guys appear.
Lots of Mega Evolutions
And
throughout
then-
the entire movie, not using a proper Mega Stone, using a Mega Wave, which, harnesses their power. It puts them in pain.
I like.
So they
this
make them
because-
painfully. They force them to make
It's an interesting
kind of
concept.
like Skull Greymon in Digimon.
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward what's going on here. It's Shadow Pokemon yet again. It's bringing out the inner power of
Yeah.
Pokemon by force. They go glowy purple eyes. They have a shadowy aura around them. Clearly, it's
that
trying
aura
to.
most of the time was Alakazam's psychic, to be fair.
Okay, when
okay,
you could
alright.
see they were in pain and they didn't
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
to Mega.
Yeah,
And
it-
boy,
it
they
felt a lot
put
like Shadow
every
Pokemon.
Mega Pokemon
No, they didn't.
pretty much.
No, they didn't. There was no Sceptile, there was no Blaziken, there was no Charizard, there was no
They were in
Mewtwo.
the last ones. Every Mega Evolution we'd pretty not seen up until this point.
I mean, with this and the Mega Evolution specials, everything except Mega Mewtwo X, I believe, has had a showcase.
Yeah, they put.
I honestly thought they were going to do a special of, like, the Mewtwo from the Genesect movie against the Mewtwo Ash met The first one being Mega Mewtwo X, and the other one being Mega Mewtwo Y, and it being a Mewtwo face-off, but they never went with that idea.
So we have all these Mega Pokemon. Like, this is essentially, you know, Pokemon movies kind of highlight something like a big thing, mythical, legendary with the games, and Mega Evolution was the big
I remember at this time there was a lot of discussion of people saying, oh, they're going to drop Mega Evolution, it's not going to be in Sun and Moon. It was.
Do you feel like they could have done more with Mega Evolution in this film? Do you think it was kind of a weak tie-in? Do you think it was just about right?
It showed the strength of the enemy with...
Yeah, I liked it.
They seem to be taken down quite easy, though, and the whole Mega Evolution battle thing with Pikachu... Not many of Pokemon. It was just Pikachu and a couple others.
No, it was all of their Pokemon. It was all of their Pokemon.
As far as Pokemon movie battle scenes go, it didn't feel as epic of an occasion.
Oh. I felt the other way around. I thought it
was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, just me then.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just for something about like. Not every, but most Mega Pokemon. I just thought it would be more of a thing and longer. It just seemed to be over quite quickly.
No, I just needed to showcase them because Sceptile was in the anime, Blaziken was in the anime. Did we ever see Mega Ampharos?
We didn't ever see the Latias, did we?
They were in the Hooper movie. As was Rayquaza.
Yes, they were.
And Rayquaza was in the Mega Evolution specials.
I felt, and I might be wrong about this, I felt there was a particular focus on the Mega Steelix and Glalie in this.
There
Am I
was
wrong?
an Ampharos.
Yeah.
There
I know,
was?
I'm with Toby on this. Emphasis on Mega Glalie and Steelix. They were the ones in the demo.
They were the ones in the demo.
They were in the demo, which is what I was thinking, is that like in the Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire demo, which was so cool.
I've still not picked up that Pokemon from the demo.
Have you even picked up
Okay,
your Astro
after that.
Ninja yet?
Probably not.
This is what all your, to sidetrack, this is what all your future streams need to be. You need to go through all your old games and collect everything.
As
I digress.
Yeah. As I was discussing before the stream, that's pretty much my plan. Yeah, I don't know. I just felt the Megas... I mean, I guess I did kind of like the idea that they were using the energy to force Mega Evolve. I mean, it kind of did.
And then the battle was so epic that Squishy decided to call some cells and become a 10% form.
Zydog.
What energy do they use to make everything Mega Evolve? Is it the Soul Heart?
No.
It's the arcane energy?
Arcane technologies,
right.
yeah.
But then the super bad guy gets takes Magiana's Magiana. What am I saying?
Magiana. Well, Magiana.
Magiana.
You're emphasising the E.
Magiana.
Because you used to call it Magiana.
No, I've always called it Magiana.
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 There we go.
That's what I've always said.
No, it's not.
They take its heart out, and they want to do evil things with the power contained within, which kind of kills Magiana. You've made me really self-conscious about saying that.
I'm sorry.
And
I mean, Magiana does resist, but it eventually loses its soul.
And Meowth being the talking Pokemon to, fill us in with what's happening. Oh, we missed the most important bit. Toby, how does Volcanion talk to people? Literally start with this. I missed this on the notes. It's Toby's favourite thing. It's another telepathy Pokemon.
Oh man.
Because fire, water type,
It's a really angry, it's a really grumpy Volcanion.
Did you know it hates humans?
It absolutely hates humans, which you will absolutely get the message quite quickly. So yeah, Magiana kind of dies, and even Meowth. Right, because Team Rocket's role in this was another weird one as well, because they were essentially hired by the bad guys to learn about Ash and spy on them and whatever. And Meowth, they were the bad guys, and they were never really like that with Maggie and Ed. But Meowth cries and gets very emotional.
Meowth isn't a
Maggie
bad
in pain.
Pokemon.
Just because he's a bad guy does not make him a bad guy. Right?
But it was just a weird shift. Like, Meowth just suddenly got very emotionally involved with a Pokemon that he had no prior connection with, and could, like, it knew and could sense Magina dying. That was a very weird thing to see.
It's emotional, right?
Yeah, and like Meowth was getting really quite upset, and like he was like, I can't hear Magina anymore, she's gone, like, or whatever it is he says. It is actually quite sad. Oh, there's a shiny Gardevoir in this film as well. That belongs to the princess because shiny Gengar wasn't enough. I do wonder how they choose which Pokemon to have shiny in the Pokemon.
Did this kind of... I might be wrong about this. Did this and the themings around this film tie in with the trading card game a little bit, right? With, like,
They
Steam
based
Siege.
they based that set around the movie. Every July or June or July, the set they release is loosely themed on the movie. Like the set
Like the set's coming out got
Zarude and Celebi in
Right.
this year,
And
Plus-
that's why there's a shiny Mega Gardevoir in that set. Because...
Yeah. And last year we had Unified Minds, which had Mewtwo and Mew because of the Mewtwo movie.
Got ya.
There was two different
Yeah, before I
opening
had Marshadow
themes in this
and
film.
Hello.
You noticed that, Toby?
What's that?
Two different anime opening themes. They had
I
the
didn't
weird
know
one
that.
at the beginning, and then when a battle was going on,
They had Be
it
a
was
Hero.
Be a Hero. The
I
one
like
at the
that.
start of the film was
The XYZ one.
the Gotta Catch 'Em All one.
Yeah, anyway.
Anyway.
Moving on.
I just thought it was really weird there was two different anime themes in the same film. No, they don't really do that. The heart's power was used. Meowth no longer hears Magina's voice. They could have wrapped it up at this point.
What?
But
And just
then-
have Magina be dead?
No, like, and like no, because they then
And cut to black.
they then get, you know, Magina's soul heart back and put it back in, and
Yeah.
Magina isn't quite all there, can't hear the voice, like going through the motions, but no one's home. But then, because they've taken the power away, the big flying castle starts to crash and fall apart, which is really, really dangerous. And that's really, really bad. But then the film keeps going, because now they have to kind of crash land the castle safely. When does Big Zai?
Just before that, when they go to fire the weapon from this 500-year-old flying wall
Yeah,
towards
it's
the
very
Pokemon
far-fetched.
settlement, and Zygarde in its 10% form jumps off and calls more cells and becomes Gundam.
Yeah.
I feel like, given that Zygarde's cores are a big part of the ongoing anime arc at that time, was the reaction to perfect Zygarde from characters like Bonnie like a little underwhelming?
And no one saw Perfect Zygarde.
Oh, nobody saw it?
No, 10%.
They've
form.
seen the dog before at this point, didn't they?
I think so.
I feel like they had.
Yeah.
I think
But
Bonnie
they
might
never
have
saw
seen
it
it
complete.
once, but yeah, they didn't see it complete until the Kalos League arc.
It is a very weird thing for a Pokemon to do as well, the whole turning into one Pokemon, then de-evolving, basically. I know it's a form, but it's
Yeah,
a very,
form.
it is a very,
I still wish when you had Zygarde in your party, it was Zygarde core, and when you sent it out, it would then summon all the cells to the form you picked. I would have liked it to do that.
you really like Zygarde.
I just think that would have been a better thing to do. Definitely going to have Zygarde follow me in for Crown Tundra if once that's out. If Zygarde's in it, which I think it is.
Volcanion gets mad and breaks the chains, and everything breaks, and the Pokemon de-mega evolve, which is good because they were in pain, clearly. Ash gets the Soul Heart. Meowth explains that Magian is still broken.
Yeah,
Falling Castle, bad idea. But then it's okay, because Volcanion blew it up to save everyone.
So instead of one
But
big
I feel-
piece, it's a million small pieces.
Yeah, so instead of one big falling, crashing castle, there's now loads of debris falling down, which I feel
It's to stop the explosion that would have happened once the castle hit the ground.
Either way,
Gosh, Marty.
it's not either way.
I mean, it's
It
the
didn't spell good
sensible
news.
option.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done.
So then they end up back at the grassy field, the plateau, and everyone's really sad because Magiena's not the same Magiena. And at this point, we don't think we got Volcanion either because last we saw it kind of blew itself up. But then the smoke appears, and the smoke brings Magiena back to life. And then we see in the distance Volcanion, who was a little bit exhausted. But then Magiena makes some flowers appear out. I don't know. Right, can I just say this about Magiena? What's with the flowers coming out of the
Alchemy?
hand thing? What's that got to do with...
What is your problem with
it's
these
a metal-
Pokemon liking
it's a-
flowers? They
it's
like
a
flowers.
metal steampunk steel Pokemon thing, and then it just holds his hand out, and then flowers come out of his
Did
hand.
you know that Magiena's signature move is called Fleur Cannon? Fleur being flower.
Yeah. But it just seems like a really weird thing for a Pokemon to do.
sorry.
Right? A
You're
Pokemon.
picking holes.
Why are Pokemon like
Toby's
that?
gone.
I've really upset Toby. But why did the flowers come out of...
You're
It just
reading too
seems
much
like
into it.
a weird thing for that Pokemon to do. It's like, oh, how cute, and then flowers just appear out of its arm. It's weird. It's a weird thing that doesn't make sense. But yeah, you know, Volcanion is all like exhausted and stuff, and you think, oh no, is this the end for Volcanion? And then Magiena makes the flowers come out of its arm, and we think Volcanion's got like hay fever or something, and it sneezes and wakes up and is fine, and they hug. Like, we don't
Love
really
is
get to see
reunited.
Pokemon hug much, but they hug. Volcanion.
They're happy. They're gonna live happily
They
ever
all
after.
live happily ever after.
Yeah,
The end.
it's a really long film.
It's 90
The
minutes. That's not long.
Of all of Ash Ketchum's adventures in this
In a
sequence of movies.
Yeah, in a canon
Right?
movie.
Coherent way. They're
Um,
sort of, yeah.
yeah. Joe.
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. It did, repeat a lot of the stuff a bit too much, which would
They
probably
spent too long.
have cut 20 minutes off. They spent too long iterating that Volcanion and the Pokemon in the plateau dislike humans. Because they say, oh,
Why
this
did
Pokemon...
Volcanion hate? It just hated humans because other Pokemon hated humans.
Because of what humans tried to do. Because, humans are terrible people.
Yeah, it just
Because of
felt
what the
like
humans tried to do, Marty. You don't,
two other
humans.
Pokemon. Like, okay, if you humans tried to catch him, but
I felt that the plot was pretty weak, but what I liked about it was there was a lot of stuff on screen that was happening that I thought like, oh, that's interesting, that's interesting, that's interesting. And also I remember around the time this movie was coming out, there's a lot of, like theory bait. What's that about? Oh, this movie's going to have Astro Ninja. That's cool. It's going to have Perfect Zygarde. How does that tie into the anime? The main villain, his name's Alva. Alva, right?
yeah.
Alright, well, Malva is a Team Flare thing, and she's the Elite Four member who's part of Team Flare. And they have very similar costume designs. There's like a lot of diamond shapes on there. I remember covering this in a video once. There's just some similarities between Team Flare and this guy who may well be
That's
like an
very
ex-Team Flare.
flimsy.
super flimsy. But there's also
He is a
connections
Pokemon
between
YouTuber.
Volcanion stuff. Look, the point is, there's a lot to think about here. Shadow Pokemon, maybe.
No.
Magearna and original color Magearna, and what's that about, and what's Azoth about? That's being mentioned in the games right now. There's a lot there to be interested in, I think.
It's good if you're a Pokemon theory person.
Yeah. And that's why I like
it was
not so much
solid. It was not amazing, but it wasn't bad. It just had a couple of pacing issues. It
Yeah, it just
should
felt
have
like
been about 15 minutes shorter.
lots of things happened quite quickly, and too quickly for it to sink into my simple brain. It's like, oh, they're doing one thing, oh, then there's this princess and her assistant, and then we're back to
I don't
Ash,
care
and
about
then we're
any of
back
that.
to the royalty, and then like actually part of me feels like the royalty thing was quite a weak tie-in to all this. You could have been able to do this maybe without the whole royalty tie-in thing. And
I mean, that
saved
just
a bit
goes
of
into
time.
Magearna's lore, because Magearna was in the games. Magearna was built for the king's daughter.
User
Yeah.
reviews.
Oh,
It just
Ooh.
no mother and child. I don't think.
I had a look. They appeared very briefly
They
walking
did?
through a town.
You got a screenshot?
No,
Oh. Okay, we did have mother. Was it? Were they all steampunk dressed?
no.
then? Oh, because I noticed like a lot of the people in the city were like dressed old timey.
I'm also.
I
I think
thought-
I'm quite.
I think our friends on the reviews finished at the last one.
No, they finished at the Mewtwo movie, right?
They're not going to do Coco, but they did this.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But what I found, and I've got the reviews up here. I think I also liked this because Magearna was the first new Pokemon post me coming to YouTube, and so it was like the first time I got to see a new Pokemon and be like, "Oh, this is it! New generation is
I
happening."
like Magearna.
Let's see what we've got here. User reviews. We've got a 7 out of 10.
There we go.
Ooh.
That's what
7
I
out
said.
of 10. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, come
4
on.
out of 10, 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10. All of them relatively positive apart from the 4 out of 10 that says meh. And then
This-
3 out of 10 for our good friend doing the Pet Pokemon Retrospective Part 19. They reviewed this a year ago. This was a year ago. In my review of Hooper and the Clash of Ages, I felt somewhat ashamed to hate that film as much as everyone else. Fortunately, Pokemon the movie Volcanion and Medical Marvel karmically outbalances the mainstream opinion because I seem to dislike it significantly more than most do. And then they just continue to not like the film for the rest of the review. The result is a film that bombards the senses with its sound and fury, but does not entertain, let alone mean anything. Unlike other X and Y films, Volcanion does actually seem to be the product of good intentions, but that alone is not enough. It still feels like just another tired entries in the franchise that was creatively bankrupt before the turn of the millennium. Oh no. It's a good thing that the film
So when it started.
because if Volcanion counts as the best of the late Pokemon films, it's clear then that all hope was lost. No, look, it was. I don't know. It was fine, like you say, Joe. I think like an average, in the middle Pokemon film. There's bits to like about it, bits to not like about it. Solid 5 out of 10. In the middle, right?
Because I think, do
I'd
you
say
remember
6.
you saying around when we last recorded that you really didn't like this one?
Who, me?
Yeah, I thought you.
No,
really
no.
didn't.
I was.
The
I
last
was
one he
looking forward
didn't
to this
like.
one.
Oh,
I didn't like the
okay.
Hooper one at all, and so this was like. I knew that the films were gonna start getting not so great after midway through Black and White, but actually to kind of get this side of Hooper is quite nice because at least the next film that we're gonna do is at least somewhat entertaining for different reasons.
Refreshing is different. Joe, what did you think of this film?
I have already stated my feelings.
Say him again.
It was good. It had pacing issues. It repeated itself a lot. It could have been 15 minutes shorter if it was. It'd be a better movie.
I think I'd have to agree with that as well. Pacing issues and slim believability that Volcanion would be in a field of flowers And the whole
What
ring
is your
thing,
obsession with that?
it just doesn't seem like that's where a Volcanion would be. Like, it doesn't make sense that that would be its environment to live in and meet a Magiana. And I get that they have to try and tie the two together in some way. Like, we've seen this a lot with Pokemon films. Like, they're trying to be like, we have these Pokemon to promote. We need to give them a story that connects in some way. And some stories have worked better than others. I was actually sold on this one. Like, a little unbelievability about it, but you really did feel the relationship with... I'll give a lot of credit, actually. The relationship between the two of them, you get a strong sense of that care from very early on in the movie. And it was believable. And then the hug at the end, like, I really do appreciate the relationship these two lead Pokemon have. So yeah, it's not bad. It's one of the better films. That said, it's our last film in the XY situation. Which is the best XY film then?
Hooper.
This.
I'm Hooper. I gotta say, Hooper. I like the whole, lots of legendaries and...
Well, this has got lots of Mega Evolutions.
I prefer the lots of legendaries.
You
than
really
the
don't
lots
like
of...
Mega Evolutions, do you? Oh, the competitive VGC player in you is really starting to shine right now.
I'm not a competitive VGC player.
Yeah, but that part of you is showing your disdain for Mega Evolution.
Oh, I didn't mind them. I mean, I used many Mega Evolutions throughout the
You know what?
years
I'm
they were
going to
available.
tell you why
but-
I think they're cooler. Okay, I think that when you've got Groudon and Kyogre and the Time God and the Space God and the ecosystem, whatever, and they're all fighting it out. It's
You just feel like it's something you've seen
the
before.
whole continent should the whole continent should be leveled. Let's be real. The Hooper and the Clash of Ages, the city that took place in, should just be a crater in the ground. It doesn't make sense. But at least when Mega Pokemon are battling, you're like, oh yeah, it's a good way of upping the stakes, but also like, it's still a reasonable Pokemon battle. I think Hooper and the Clash of Ages cheapens legendary Pokemon because when they're no longer special, when they're all on screen at once, it's like, okay, they're just ordinary.
So you think the Mega Evolution thing is more believable?
Yeah, I think it works better.
I respect that. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So I like the Megas. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, it's it was different. It was different to have just normal Pokemon as the bad Pokemon.
This is probably the best movie since.
Sorry.
In my opinion, this is. Oh, bless you. This is probably the best movie since the Zoroark one, which was good. I like the Zoroark one.
How far back was that?
That's the end of
Beginning
Diamond
of-
Pearl.
And a Diamond and Pearl. So I think this, if you're looking at like the XY, XY, and then, actually no, I guess the Genesect one was okay. It's probably about the same tier as the Genesect one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right
no,
there, Joe.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
He has an owie on his leg. Apologies for the whole shaking desk situation. And like, I'm going to put some ice on it.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad film. I still enjoyed it. I just wish it was a little bit shorter. And the credits, nothing really happened.
No, those are boring credits.
Yeah, we saw what happened to the bad guy who flew off and crash landed. Oh, and the other bad guys ended up in jail. To which Joe said, "There's no toilet in that cell." That's what he took away from that.
Nice.
Yeah.
They didn't
thanks for
animate.
that
They
input.
didn't draw in a toilet.
No. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
That
It's
is
cruel.
the final XY film and kind of the final film
Of
of everything before things start getting
The whole
weird.
thing.
the saga of the anime which continues
Of
onwards.
the multiverse.
Let's call it Poke Earth 1.
Okay.
Yeah. What's really nice about this, though, is I think it means that we're ending Movie Club, obviously ending, the streak of Movie Club with, I Choose You next, which is such a
Feels a
lovely
nice one to
way
end
to
on.
tie it
Yes,
together.
I thought that as well. I could have sworn we covered it, but we haven't. But no, it does feel good to be ending with something like that.
I Choose You.
But I can't believe that is the final
That's it.
XY film, guys. You have been fantastic joining us for these and watching them on YouTube. Like, I didn't think it would go down too well, I'll be honest, but you guys are watching it and leaving comments on the YouTube if you can't make it live, and I really do enjoy reading in the live chat your opinions as they come in and the comments on YouTube. And yeah, I won't get too soppy here because we've still got one more to go, which will be on
One more. The 17th.
the 17th, Friday 17th of July. So a few weeks to go, and it will be Pokemon I Choose You, which I'm not sure it's available for free anywhere at the moment. I haven't checked.
You can
Netflix
definitely get
for a while.
DVDs.
Oh yeah, Manga UK, Steelbook, and DVD, and probably Viz in America. And I tell you what, guys, I got a picture for this. Hey, so I swear it was on Netflix at some point, but it might not be anymore. Possibly Prime Video, Pokemon TV, Viz. There is definitely
it's on
an I
Netflix.
Choose You manga because I was very tempted to pick it up because the picture looks really cool. I tell you where I did see the I Choose You manga last year in Free Comic Book Day, last May. There was a sample of the I Choose You manga, and that is how I started reading it. But yeah, there are many ways to, enjoy the I Choose You story. Definitely recommend it. Definitely recommend it. So that there are many ways. So you have no excuse not to get involved. And I think that's all
That's it.
we got to say. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us on this episode. And we'll be back next month with Pokemon I Choose You. Stick around on Twitch for the post show. And this is where we're going to leave you on YouTube. Press the like button if you've liked this video, and share with your friends, and press the subscribe button for more videos. That's my end thing, isn't it?
Sure.
I never remember to say that. And we'll see you.
Be sure to ring that bell.
Joe always says that, but you know what? Don't worry about it. If you don't want to ring the bell, don't do it. But
Ring
Ring
the
the
bell.
bell.
Don't listen to her. Ring it.
Ring the bell.
a lot of people have actually. Like I looked at my analytics, and it was a good 30% of people have actually rung that bell, which is surprising, seeing as I've never really said it. Only Joe says it.
Ring it.
But we'll see you next month. Bye. Guys, are you gonna say bye?
Bye.
Oh, bye. Bye.